song to just roll on and on. So if you're driving this morning, you just nod your head to the theme song. If you are behind the steering, just tap your fingers on the wheels and think positive of your country. Good morning, folks. It's great to be back this morning. Honor our true soldiers see the suns at midnight. This for the soldier who see the suns at midnight. A true soldier will see the sun at midnight. Good morning, folks. Good morning. This is the True Breakfast Show. It's great waking up this morning. Wake up positive. Think positive. Our sound heart is life to the body. You know, Derek Cody always will come up with proverbs. Our sound heart is life to the body. A sound heart, a good heart, is life itself to the body. But enviness kills the bones. The bones die soon because of what? Enviness. Yes. On this note, I'd like to say a pleasant good morning. Just 2 days after the runoff elections, it's good to be back on the True Breakfast Show this morning. Love of liberty matters here. The love of liberty matters here. Let justice be done to all. Not some, but all of us. And former Justice in Chambers, Kabina Janet, he said, that's the best part I like when you say, let justice be done to all. And current Justice in Chambers, Yusuf Kaba, says, yes, I like what you said, let justice be done to all. When you wake up in the morning, think positive about your country. Good morning, Nimba County. Good morning, Lo-Fi. Good morning, Grand Bassa. Good morning, Mangibi. Grand Kidman County, good morning. Riverside, Sino, Grand Crew, Buffalo, Bon County, Bombay County, Maryland, River G, Montserrat, good morning. Yes, the love of liberty matters here. This is the Breakfast Show. My name is Oni Roberts. Good morning to all. The two faces that was on the ballot box, the just ended elections. President George Weah, good morning to you. Ambassador Joseph Boyka, you don't know it all. Good morning to all of you. When you wake up this morning, think positive about your country. Those of you who follow the onlines, take up your phone and leave Liberia a little bit. Just leave the Facebook a little bit. Forget about Facebook and go to some international outlets and see what is happening in the world. Not yell, yeah. Forget about the social media, the Facebook. Go to some foreign websites. The BBC, for example, bbc.com, CNN. See what is happening around Africa. What is happening in the world at large. Then you think about your own country. In Madagascar, I was doing some research before I bring on my co-host this morning. You know, in Madagascar, there was a serious protest that the BBC is reporting that several persons were reported dead. And a curfew today has been announced in Madagascar. They are holding a presidential elections despite an opposition boycott following a massive protest. For more than 2 weeks, there have been massive protests. Massive demonstration. Supporter clash with police. I intend to start a show like this morning. I just want to bring it up to speed. What is happening in other countries? Yes, this is how I'm starting it up this morning. In Madagascar, there was a huge demonstration. In fact, I said 2 weeks, six weeks. There's a curfew throughout Madagascar. Then when I scrolled down, I came across something very interesting. Hell fighting in Mali. I'm just telling you, putting you up. Good morning to our two leaders. When you wake up in the morning, your supporters look to you. In Israel, non-stop bombardment in Gaza. Last week, Israel asked 1 million people to relocate. Can you imagine this? I'm just bringing them, Liberians. I hope you give me your ears this morning. And let us allow the National Elections Commission in Liberia to do her work, to do that job. I mean, let's give the next chance to do that job. Don't encourage your people to go to the streets. Yes, we have problems everywhere in the world. Last week in Rwanda, there was a national holiday. The soldiers, the entire country, planted 100 million trees. They have a long-range plan. People making progress. Yes. In this light, again, I want to say good morning. Wake up with a sound heart. In Somalia, there was a heavy flooding. I mean, waters are enter homes. People are been seen. Go look. You'll leave the social. You'll leave Facebook and see what is happening in other parts of the world. Then you'll know that if anyone disturbs the peace we're enjoying here, we're going to go back to square one or zero. Yes. I want to say good morning to all of you. Think positive about your country. Let allow the National Elections Commission to do a job. If the two political parties here says they have won the election, what I say to myself, numbers don't lie. Yes, numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. At the end of the day, the person with the highest odds will take it. And I'm just running through. The BBC have just featured Liberia runoff results. Point to pull too tight. This is what the BBC reported on Liberia this morning. Yes. Good morning, folks. Will Rose. We have the BBC correspondent in Liberia, Will Rose. Will have a post on Liberia through the British broadcasting. Liberia electoral body is expected to announce the final results within 15 days from November. Yes, this is a report fired in by BBC Africa editor Will Rose. Yes, he said initial results from the presidential runoff election in Liberia, with almost a quarter of the results in President George Weah has 49% of the votes, just behind the opposition's Joseph Boyka, who has over 50% of the vote. In the first round, both men were also neck and neck, with the third place candidate securing just 2% of their votes. The same two candidates also faced each other in the 2017 election, which ended in a runoff won by that's why I say let us allow Elections Commission to do her job. And guess what? This is the look at this story sent in by Will Rose. At the end of the story, Liberia is still struggling. After talking about the election, Joseph Boyka have 50% and George Weah 49%. So Will Rose ends with his story. This is on the BBC. Liberia is still struggling with the long-term impact of civil wars. I hope you're listening up to this. Those of you predicting violence will carry us back to nowhere. There are people in this country who have suffered, they are earned, they got a property legally, living a peaceful life. You want someone to take it from them for in the space of 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and loot out? Well, where Ross ended with this report? Liberia is still struggling with the long-term impact of civil wars and the economic impact of an Ebola outbreak as well as the COVID pandemic. See it? That's how we're in the story out. Let me just recap a little bit. He said the same two candidates also faced each other in the 2017 election. This is George Weah and Joseph Boyka. which ended a runoff won by President Weah. The final runoff results are expected to be released within 15 days from the November polling date. Then Will Winner to end up and say, Liberia is still struggling with the long-term impact of civil wars and the economic. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to supporters of the Unity Party. Good morning to supporters of the Congress for Democratic Change. Hmm? These two political parties are not more than the ordinary Liberian people. You should have this in mind. This morning, when you wake up, you see there are schools. The should have released that school was closing for just 4 days, and today, children are out there with school. So don't take to the street and embarrass this country, the two political parties. Stop rejoicing. Don't take to the street until the final results are being announced. Please, let's do this for our country. Good morning, folks. This is the Breakfast Show. My name is Oni Roberts. And of course, Ansu, good morning to you. Yes, I see you tweeting or why?
Yeah. Just thank you. Thanks again. Let me say good morning to our listeners. For those of you who always at this time here, you are forwarded, tuning in, monitoring Truth FM and listening to the breakfast show. You are said it all, O'Neill. Gave me some factors indeed, which was a major setback, putting this country all the way to the back with so many things when it comes to the developments, when it comes to restructuring, uh, all development aspect of this country here. So you said it all. That's the coronavirus. We talk about Ebola. We talk about the civil war. So all these things there, you just those are factors indeed that really places country beyond. And this time around, I don't think Liberians are waiting again to go back to those past days. So we are calling on politicians, political actors indeed, for us to call on their supporters. Let's remain calm, let's remain focused. The process is on. We saw what happened right after the November 14 election. The next day, Liberians turned up indeed. They went to their various businesses, went back to work. Again, school officially open today, since been announced by the NEC or Ministry of Education that school should close and open on Thursday, the 16th of November. Students should go back to school. So that's tell you that everything have to get back on a normal track, and we get back to our normal businesses running. And then I'll just focus on the NEC. So the two candidate, that is Ambassador Boakai and President Weah. Our father, that's a story I just found online. I saw few messages from the both of them calling on their supporters indeed. Let's just follow the process. Let's wait on the NEC. Let's be peaceful. This is our country, and which is very, very important. So we shouldn't lie people because of, like I always say this, O'Neill, because of their personal gain, because of what they want, how maybe they want to stay, maintain their self into power, or how they want to get into power to get young people out there in the street. Yeah, so we are calling on everybody. Let's follow the NEC. You saw the process yesterday. The first preliminary results that were announced.
Okay.
That's tell you that in 15 days, they're going to take the time. All the war rooms we have around here. For me, I think the NEC is not a war room. Yeah, they have all the war room. This that the NEC, the National Election Commission, my own war room. So we sit on the radio, everything sent to us, we follow it, and then we wait on the NEC to come up with the announcement. So we call you on everybody. Those of you, you are so much, maybe I don't know, you have your party so much heart. No, this is our country. We're not more than Liberia.
Okay.
No, we all came right here in this country. We're not more than this country here. So we're not allow you because of your personal gain, your individual own maybe gain that something that you want to gain for yourself and try to push these people, push Liberians people, maybe at local head. try to push these people together on a different side. It's a very big reconciliation has to take place on you. Either the Boyka or the Ria have come up as a winner of this election. It's a very big reconciliation because everything that is just chakra, yeah, personal, personal issues,
hits,
hits and other stuff. People, went too personal with each other. Yeah, so end of them, being the announcer winner, I think that's the first place they need to start from. To start building up, they can start putting Liberians back together, bringing reconciliation. There are a lot of things we need to do after the steady months, from September, October to November. After the steady months, we need to, in terms of reorganizing ourselves and getting this country back on the rightful path.
Great. So I'm just looking at we have the ECOWAS delegation in our country, right?
Yeah.
Former Nigerian President Gulag and others are here in Liberia.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know that in Nigeria, in his own country too, I mean, there are protests upon protests currently in Nigeria. You see someone who is here, to help you with your own process and say, look, my friend, sir, if the result don't go your way, we can tear the country apart. Let it be this way. But you see what? This is Nigeria. I decide now to leave the social media, Facebook.
Yeah.
Yes, because what is happening now on the social media, you won't stand it. Yes. But take up your time and look at some of the international wires and see other stories coming in for other countries.
Mm-hmm.
And some of you, the worst thing, you are predicting violence. When you travel from this country, most of us, we're Liberians here.
Yeah.
Before we bring on our health table, David Kotu shortly. When you travel out of this country, when you go into the other man's home, the first thing you do, you take the cell phone and put it to yourself. You want to take those beautiful pictures and post them on social media, right?
Yes.
You're listening up to this. You want put this country back to square one. When you leave the RIA and land in another man's country, if it is Ghana, you look for the best area and take that selfie and send it back. You happy about it, right? If it's America, it's what Europe, it's Asia. You want to take a best of pictures. Do you know what the kinds of things that people took? They went through and developed their country, and you're so excited to do so. Now, this is what I'm saying. The peace of this country remains the utmost thing. This country, when you travel to, those of you who make the live podcasts and predict violence here, the whom you are in, when you come down here, then you won't mess up thing. Look, see Liberian, let Liberian men travel, even my very self. When you take off, the first thing you do, you put the camera up before you. You want to take the beautiful picture of the streets and send it back on the social media in your own country here.
Yes.
Don't stop that kind of thing, man.
Yes, exactly so.
Numbers don't lie. Don't allow neck to work. Yes. Good morning, folks. This is the Breakfast Show. Think positive of your country. Look, if you're a hustler, you're missing or go do your work this morning. Stop putting too much pressure. You're missing out, go do your missing out work this morning. You're a plumber, go do your plumbing work this morning. You're an electrician, go and carry on your regular hustle. The motorcyclists, don't allow no one to use you to go down to the street. Go and do your regular hustle. Lying. Yes. Go do your regular hustle. Problems everywhere in the world. Numbers don't lie. I repeat, numbers don't lie. So we'll have the highest number, the highest odd. We'll tell it there. This country is more than George Weah and Joseph Boyka. Even Cristiano Ronaldo, right? Oh, Ronaldo is leaving. Ronaldo had to leave Man United. He was not more than the club. The institution have to stay. If O'Neal leaves Truth FM still remains Truth FM. That's why no one is above what? Institution or the country. Anyway, yes, this is the TBS this morning. And let me just tell you what we're about doing this morning. We'll bring on the health table with David Kotu. I mean, very important. Yes, thanks so much. David, thanks for your energy. David says he's 70 years old and he wants to live and see more years, He had traveled everywhere, but he loved his country. The right, the freedom you have. Look, some of you want to stay overseas. The taxes you run away from and come in this country.
And
My
he's
brother,
very,
he said to live,
he's
man.
very, very strong too. He's
Yeah.
very strong.
Yeah,
Every morning he's
bro,
out to
to stay out country.
Yeah.
The taxes and thing you pay, you run away and come back here. You won't put it down. You know the country is sweet. You know the country is sweet. People can yet leave and start shining shoe before you look. They're a big business tackle. You know that. When shoe shine ball, huh?
Mhm.
From shoe shine ball, before you look, that person has toes. No, from shoe shine ball, the next thing at Willow Market. From Willow Market, that's small shop. From small shop now, that's toes. You know how God bless this country? You don't take about the square one. You don't try this thing, man. Just stop it. Stop it. When King and Abel was walking, enviness went into King's heart. He killed Abel. The God asked him, King, where is your brother? The blood was draining down the streets. People die in this country here. And God have had mercy. Look, where are the religious leaders? Sometimes my spirit just get vexed, you know. Where are the religious leaders? The religious leaders now should be there to stand looking. George, we have friends, George, Joseph Boycott. The way the results will go, that's how you should accept it. Where are the prophets? Do we have prophets in this land? Where are the men? Where are the imams? Tell me. There you go. Yeah. Anyway, let's have health table David Cote. Then we'll bring on, despite elections commission is giving out provisional results.
Mhm.
There are some districts that are still going through the normal hearings. Yes, they're going through the hearings. We'll bring you up to speed with some of them. Yes, elections commission is still having some hearings with some districts. Despite David is doing an excellent job giving the results to Liberian people. So right after that, then 8:30 will play you a repeat. Those of you who missed the neck press conference, the press briefing yesterday. The next by 8:30, 8:45 this morning, we'll use our entire time to just play it and listen up to it. Yes. I mean, I've been receiving calls from political parties to come and appear on the show. I said no. Because if you bring one political party here, and the man come and sit down and claim victory already, you know what I'm talking about? No. I've been denying guests upon guests. What I'm preaching this morning is peace. Wait for elections commission and accept the results. Yes. This is the TBS 96.1, the Ansu of Liberia. The two political parties again. One of you should be in create room to accept the defeat. Nothing will happen to you. You move on. The last time, Ghana lined up more than 5 ex-presidents. Yes, Latin talked so before JJ could pass. That was John Muhammad, that was Gerald Rollins, John Atta Mills, and I mean, all the ex-presidents, 5. So wow. Hey man, the 2 presidential candidates. Good morning. Joseph Boyka, George Ria, good morning. One of you should create that room to accept the defeat. Once you accept it, your supporters will not do nothing. Like Adele.
That's it.
Yes. And those of you who are posting.
Because, you the head.
Yes. Once they hear concede and say, well, that's the results. Your supporters can do nothing. Those of you who posting threats on the social media, all the comments you are making, all the posts you are having on the social media. I'm not saying don't declare yourself winner. Your page, all while you're posting, have been seriously monitored by our foreign partners. You young people, you have future ahead of you. Great one. The posts you are doing on the social media have been highly monitored. Remember, Anthony Blinken, the Secretary of State of the United States of America, through the Sachet Affair, Catherine Rodriguez, reiterated that anyone who disturbs the peace, there will be visa restriction, perhaps a go in extension or maybe sanction. I don't want to think you want to go in that way. Anyway, in the midst of all, country friends, Liberia first, Liberia second, Liberia last. But the two of you, one person should create room for what? Mm?
And we all went to the
And move
process.
on.
We all went to the process in the interest of our country, right?
Yeah, man.
So if we're having the lost the
Yeah,
election,
man.
we should do it in the interest of our country.
Yeah, man.
So everything is about the interest of our country.
See Will Ross. Look
Yeah.
at what Will Ross reported on Will Ross, BBC veteran journalist. You see in Liberia, Will Ross. Will Ross last statement he said, "Well, the country have been instable. Each time when people take upon their pen to write, they always go back. They remind you. Say yes, this is where you came from. You can't go back. Look, anybody who bring violence in this country, there is no winner or loser. As you start your own, you hurt other people. The mental guy who no supporter coming. Yes,
Mm.
that's true. Seriously, no, there will be no winner or loser. That's why conflict can be so long, and no one will come to put you on the round table and say, "Let's settle your problem." No way, because you have problem in Mali. There were gunfire in Guinea. Eh? You have problem. Just almost 2 months ago, the chief of police ran from Sierra Leone into Liberia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Problem some way, somehow. Ghana is going for election in December. Everybody got their own problem. Nigeria just held a president.
Yeah.
But guess what? There are series of protests. Curfew is in Madagascar. 6 weeks non-stop protests in Madagascar. Israel, non-stop bombardment. I mean, everyone got problems. So one of you be willing to accept defeat. Yes, let's have help team coming up right here on the TBS this morning. My name is Oni Roberts, and of course, Ansu will preach nothing less but peace in the midst of our country friend. Let's bring our health table from David Ernest Cote right here on the TBS this morning. Good morning, David. You live? Just go ahead.
Thank you very much, and good morning to you and to Ansu. Today we're talking about cold water. What cold water does to your body, especially icy water. Those of you who go to the restaurant to eat, they bring a cold bottle of water for you. Then you ask them for ice cube to put in there. Listen to this. Ice water or cold water leads to blood pressure because cold water blocks the blood vessel. Now, blood pressure, as you know, we talked about it before, and I will come back to it one day. But when the vessels are blocked by cold water, they will lead to high blood pressure. Number two, cold water leads to problem with digestion, especially right after you finish eating. Then you pour icy water in your stomach. It's a problem with digestion. Your stomach will take time to heat up before the food can be digested properly. Number three, cold water causes heart disease. The doctors call it cardiovascular disease, anything that has to do with the heart, disease of the heart. Your cold water also causes fat belly. Those of you sit at the beer table there, bring two more bottles. Let it be ice cold. That fat belly you see hanging there, cold water. Cold water also slows the heart rate. It also weakens energy. So be very careful of cold water. But it is not altogether bad. Now listen to this. Cold water is not altogether bad, but you must observe the temperature. Now, cold water reduces body. I mean, when you if you want to reduce the temperature in the body, it's good to drink cold water, especially right after exercise. Do not drink hot water after taking exercise. It's good to drink cold water. It cools the temperature and it prevents the body from getting overheated. So you see, cold water got a bad side and a good side, but you got to observe the temperature. When you are very hot after doing some hard work or playing football or whatever, taking a cold glass of water, it will help to reduce the temperature in the body. And it also prevents body, I'm how to call it heat stroke. So those are some of the things that you need to notice about cold water. Now, do not drink warm water right after exercise. It's not good for you. It's always good to drink cold water. Now, the good thing about the advice I want to give you also, those of you who like to be walking or standing, drinking water of any kind, water cold or warm, that is a bad habit. You need to be sitting down. You got to sit down, relax yourself, and drink water, water cold or warm. But when you stand up to drink, it's not good for the system. We'll come back and explain in detail one day. Now, remember this. When you hear me saying remember this, it means that we have discussed this topic before. I just want to remind you about one of two of the things that we discussed. Do not watch video or put your phone on or your laptop on in a dark room. Some of you like to behave like you are the one that brought Facebook to Liberia. 24 hours you're on Facebook. Even in the night, in a dark room, you are on Facebook. You are developing what we call radiation cataract. Very dangerous. It affects the eye. So you, the Facebook representative to Liberia, I beg you, please stop putting your telephone on in the night. You want to be looking at pictures that you took the whole day. Then when the room, you know you already don't have electricity. The place is dark. Then you got your telephone on in the night, watching video or looking at pictures. It is not good from your eye. You will develop what we call radiation cataract. Most of the time, you see people walking in the sun that got dark shades on. You can also get radiation cataract from the sun. When the sun is very hot and you walk in the sun, use dark shades to protect your eyes from the sun. Finally, those of you who like to use your teeth as opener, as soon as you grab your beer or your soft drink, instead of taking opener, grab, you use your teeth to open your soft drink or your beer. It is bad because it destroys the enamel of the teeth. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Okay, so David, before I take leave of you, as continuing with our peace message I've been doing since the October 10th election now into our runner, just use additional 3 minutes to preach our non-violence message.
Well, thank you. Like you already started, you and Ansu, and even my man Baka, you're always preaching peace, and that is the first step, especially for you, the journalists. Do not preach Kigali messages. Be like some of our good friends like O'Neill, Maka, and Ansu, and try to preach peace. The best way for us to have peace in this country is for us to know that the presidency is not our entitlement. The two people who are in the race right now, nobody owes you the presidency. No, 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 no. We don't owe you anything. It is just a privilege. If you get it, good. We'll work with you. You don't get it, go sit down. You must not try to force it at all costs. I'm talking to the two of you who are remaining there now. President, the presidency is not your entitlement. It's not something you're supposed to have at all costs. You must be president for the second term. No, it's not your entitlement. Ambassador Bwakai, you tried before and you didn't make it. If you don't make it this time, go sit down. It is not your entitlement. Nobody is supposed to be president in this country. The thing about the presidency is that it's God who can give it. You are only making an offer. God will give it. If he says that's your time, it is not your time, go sit down. And to you, the supporters, be very careful. You are the main people that can create the trouble in the country. Sometimes the people don't even know you. Or they don't even know. Sometimes they don't even know you. But you go out there and kill yourselves for them. And sometimes when they win, you go to visit them. The security, I'm getting a feedback.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Sometimes when these people win, when you go to find time to visit them one day at the office, the security asks you, you got an appointment? No, but we're the one that ran the campaign. The man said, my man, please leave from here. People don't come here without appointment. You got to make an appointment before you see. You see, look. So don't kill yourself for anybody. Don't hurt yourself for anybody. Some leaders only want power. But before they get the power, they will lick your feet, brush your shoes every morning, but let them just get it. You have heard people saying that power can change people. No, power does not change people. Power can reveal people. You want to know the man's real color? Give him power. Oh yeah, it does not change people. It reveals people. If somebody has been humble from day one, when he gets power, he will always be humble. If somebody has been a crop or criminal from day one, give him power, he will still steal. So stop fighting for these people. And like O'Neill said this morning and every morning, go and sell your foreigner this morning. Go and sell your kobo. Don't put yourself in trouble because of somebody who may not even want to see you tomorrow. I'm 70 years old and I'm living peacefully. And I eat my little 1 cup of rosemary oil and put small pepper. I'm happy. You don't have to be like other people. No. If you have any question for me, I can go further.
Okay, so this question will be quickly difficult. The reason why may I take you on going back because you was one of the many Liberians who traveled out of here to go on a round table to sign in peace agreement. Liberia had conflict. I make mention of the BBC Will Ross, and in Will Ross brought out, he said this country, after reporting on the two political parties, I was talking about the CDC and the Unity Party, right? 50% Joe Boycott, for the 9% George Weah. And at the end of the Will Ross read out, he said, well, this country has been struggling for a long-term civil war, the Ebola epidemic and the COVID-19. So yes, you advise to these two political parties not to allow the supporters go into the street and announcing victory.
No. Yeah, okay. These two parties have made some history since 2005. You remember it was the same two parties that went to the runoff when Ellen and Georgia went to it. 2011, the same two parties went to this thing when Ambassador Winston Tubman and Ellen went to it. The same two parties. The same two parties in 2017. You see, so there's a history about these two parties now. In fact, somebody was jokingly saying that we must be like America now having two parties. Well, our constitution is different. But what we need to do now, you also mentioned something I'd like to touch a little bit. I touched it small yesterday. Every country in the world has problem. Oh yes, those countries that you think are so that are so rich. Now you think the very rich countries, they all got problems. Some of us have been lucky, like I said yesterday. I've been to 17 countries, but I don't steal on anybody's country because I love Liberia. That's why it took me 18 years to build this compound I'm living in now. And nobody gonna run me out of here. Hold on, don't waste your time. I will be right here. I did not run away from here when I was much younger. I'm not going anywhere. We will stay here and we will rock it. Oh, we're not praying for war, we're praying for peace. We want peace. But I'm not running away from here to go anywhere. I will stay right here. But this country has to be peaceful. And those things that are bringing about problems, we must stop them. Number one, unequal distribution. Those are some of the things that brought about problem. People were not happy because people in the past were eating too much and other people had nothing. It's still happening. It's still happening. You got to stop. Those of us who are senior citizens, I'm talking to all of you who are more than 50 years old. You are listening to me this morning. Please let us help to bring peace in this country by preaching truth to power. Let's tell the people the truth. The best way you can help a good friend is to tell him, stop what you're doing. When he does well, clap for him. Tell him thank you. But when he does wrong, say this is wrong. Stop. You cannot be a member of the National Hallelujah Choir. NHC, National Hallelujah Choir. Everything is okay. You got food in your home, you're happy because you want to please somebody. You can't do that. So I will never be a member of the NHC, National Hallelujah Choir. Yes. This is what I have been all my life. And I will not fool anybody. Only you are my good friend. If something is happening that you're doing that not good, I will tell you stop it. You do good things, I will praise you. That's the best way to help a good friend. When you see things happening bad because of small little scratch car or pocket change, nothing is happening in this country. And the thing I hate about this place, this blame game. Oh, by the time you say the drugs are too many in the country, coach all over. Somebody will take his telephone and call. When JJ Rao here, drugs were even in his office. All right. If it happens at that time, it must just continue? No, it cannot just continue. It got to stop. There must be a call up point. It got to stop.
Let's look at the elections results. The two political parties, the importance of them listening to the results of the National Elections Commission.
Yeah. Okay. It is important for them to wait for the final announcement, but it's also good for them to let NEC know and the public know what they know. Oh, yes. This is why there were representatives at the center. Yeah. Those people pay good money. The ruling party pay good money. The opposition pay good money to have their pool washers there. So they didn't just go there to stand and anything okay, everything okay. No. They went there to send information to their war room or situation rooms. And it is the right of the opposition and the ruling party to inform the public as to what they have. Oh, yes, they got to do so. They must let us know. And that is good because it will prevent anything from happening tomorrow. Oh, yes, the opposition, there was a country, I can't remember the name now, in Africa, where the ruling party said that the opposition cheated. Something happened. One of these African countries, when I think about it, I will let you know tomorrow morning or Monday. They were accusing the opposition for cheating. I was very surprised. Ruling party say opposition play a game. After it should be the other way around. We have always heard there's a ruling party that is cheating, but there's other African countries. They complain about it really. So it is a good thing that those information that were sent by the pool washers, we need to know about them. United Party say they got a lot of information that was sent to them. They were informing us last night on Spoon, and that is very good. We need to know the information from there. The ruling party also had their poll watchers there. They have been saying that they have been posting one or two things. We need to know what happened there. And it will keep NEC on track. As I said before, I have trust in NEC, but we need to be informed as to what is happening. The only thing they should not do is to get up and say, we have already won. No, you have not won until NEC says you have won. That's the only advice I'm going to give them. But to say they must not talk about what they know, they will talk about it. They will talk about it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so as you close up, finally,
this country is behind everybody. We are 176 years old. We help other countries to get independence, like Ghana and other places. Ghana got its independence in 1957. We are way back there in 1847. But we are behind almost everybody who is behind. This is one thing we have to think about. And the reason for that is simple. No love for country. People steal from here, and this is not right now, started ever since. You go abroad, most of the major, you go and see big buildings around the world for people who were leading this country in the past. All right. What we need to do is to stop the stealing, stop the corruption, because this country is going nowhere. It is a disgrace and a shame. Normally when people are celebrating their birthdays, I see them drinking Heineken, beer, stout, all those kind of things. Sometimes I just sit and watch. I think that when you celebrate a birthday, you should be, I'm not saying you shouldn't eat a drink. I'm not saying you shouldn't dance. But a birthday is for reflection. You will not believe that I only celebrated my birthday once in my whole year when I became 50. I was on the 12th Street when I was chairman of ACO. 2 football teams playing for me. It was a big day when I became 50. But when my birthday comes, May 22 every year, what I do, I reflect. I look behind and say, Father, today I'm 20 years old. You took me from over there, you brought me here. 2 years from now, or 5 years from now, I must be on that side. For example, when I was teaching, I taught for 10 years. I became a school principal for some time. And what I used to do, I mean, what used to happen was that I was living in a bedroom when I was teaching. Oh, yeah. But when I became a school principal, I said, now I have to graduate from this bedroom to an apartment. When I became a lawmaker, I said, well, I have to graduate now from renting an apartment to having my own place. This is why I'm here today. So you must reflect every time your birthday comes. It's not about just drinking and dancing and eating. Ask yourself, where did you come from before becoming 20, 25, 30, 40? After now, what do you do to improve your life? This is what Liberia is lacking. Can you imagine a country 176 years old, still looking like one big village? What is this? No good roads, no good hospitals, nothing. Hospitals are there, no drugs. The educational system not too correct, bad off. Then we're still sitting here bluffing, calling ourselves a sovereign country. We're a sovereign country. People should not tell us what to do. Hey, man, you ain't got shame, man. You ain't got sovereign my foot. Sovereign where? You're begging every day. When your election is coming, if America and the European Union don't put more money in there, you can't have election. And you boasting, calling yourself sovereign. Since 1847, no electricity. Yeah, means it. When I hear some government official talking about we got surplus current, we send back to Africa, I say these people just like to make mockery out of people. Now, I don't use current here today, not even for the whole night, because there's no LEC in my particular area here. You think I figured about that? After 176 years, then I hear someone talking about sovereign. This country will still spend over $200 billion to subsidize rice coming to Liberia. We're supporting other farmers in Pakistan, America, India to send rice here, our own staple food, we can grow it. Then we still call ourselves sovereign. When K and these Lebanese people get vexed and say they're not bringing rice, we're dying. So sovereign my foot. What we need to do is to stop the corruption. My people, this country is backward. We are behind everything. It's a disgrace and a shame to be 176 years old and we can't still do things ourselves, but we still bluff about being a sovereign nation, sovereign my foot. Man, see you, man. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Difficulty this morning. Yes, this is the True Breakfast Show 96.1, the heart and soul of Liberia. And very shortly, I'm going to play you a repeat of yesterday press briefing for the National Elections Commission. Again, we want to caution all of you, please remain patient. Please remain patient. Don't incite your supporters. And to the ECOWAS team, let's hope you found time to visit these two the two candidates in this runoff. Because once they had, I don't say anything, sometimes the supporter too will not go the ways. Because everybody will have to look at your father. Yes. So, our international partners, thanks for all of your support. Look at what David said. If the international community and say, look, we're going to give you money for election, for this and that. Where are we? So these are our partners. If you go to the US MSA, well, they'll say the elections was a great one, impressive one. Thank you, Liberia. Thanks for coming out. EU saying the same thing. So the two political parties just hold to what you have, and numbers don't lie. This happens. It's a normal thing in politics. When you have election, everybody claiming victory, but we'll be the one to say, well, this is it. You have a board of commissioners who have delivered well, and they have a record of doing so. So they are the one who have that authority. So for our constitution in 15 days, we expect NEC to come out every day. That's why I've been going on through the regular press briefing. As I close up this morning and bring you a repeat of yesterday's press briefing, those of you hustling, continue your hustle. If you are missing out, go on your regular era and continue to do your work. If you can do Army data, Lone Star data, continue to go and do it. If you're a plumber, continue your hustle. Let's take the pressure Violence is not a way out. If anyone sparks violence here, there's not going to be no winner. If you take to the street, and if you go after someone, the people won't have their own supporter. And that's how it will be circulated around. It will mess up everything. Right? Go to the BBC Africa and look at a report from the BBC World Service correspondent who's in Liberia, Will Rose. Will found in the report, he spoke about the preliminary results. Joseph Boyka 50%, George Weah 49%, and he ended by saying this country will have a long-term civil war. Ebola, the COVID-19 as well. So, just think about it. There is no winner or no loser if you bring spark of violence. And to the two candidates, as I close up, one of you should create a room now to accept a defeat. That's why I say, in America, democracy plays at its high. After conceding, God bless America and make the country great. That's why the candidates look at one another and say, congratulations. Well, God bless the country and make the country great. The country have to continue. Liberia is above George Weah and Joseph Boyka. And let's hope the media, the other network, let's continue this. Kigali went down. Rwanda went down because of what? The hit messages. Use your microphones. Now we have radio or battery. Even they say I call them radio or battery. The Express News, they say these are radio or batteries. Yes. Use your microphone and let's control the situation. I'm not here to say, well, I'm favoring Joseph Boyka or George Weah. But who do we have as an authority? Elections Commission. That's why they're well commissioned to go ahead and carry on their own responsibility. So let's allow them to do their work. Numbers don't lie. All of you have your war rooms. All of the pool washers you have sent out, they have reported back. Now, you see, we're in a digital world. Digital world we're in now. Look on the social media. Tally sheets are banned, everywhere. So there is no way once you know that if 3,000 votes will come out from, let's say, District 4 here, then 4,000 votes come out, then you have the right to question that and say, no. During the registration period, you told us that this was it. That's what the FFRR is reporting. And this is it. So again, I want to call on every Liberians. Just wait on the National Elections Commission. It is only the National Elections Commission will tell you who's winning or who's losing. Please. And the international partners are monitoring you. If you take to your social, I also don't throw the jab. It's a normal thing. Don't throw your jab, but those comments, if you threaten the peace, any post you are doing on the social media is being highly monitored. Thank you so much. I'm going to leave you with the press briefing from yesterday. Those of you miss it out. Numbers don't lie. If CDC say they have won the election, numbers don't lie. If the United Party say they have won the elections, numbers don't lie. Both of you hold to what you have, but don't encourage your people to go to the street, please. CDC did it. United Party did it yesterday with Yeke Koluba. You stop it. ECOWAS, you say this is against election results. You can take to the street declaring yourself winner. But what I can say to two of you, numbers don't lie. Hold to what you have. Yes. Thank you so much. In the midst of all, this country first is above every one of us. Let's leave here at the taste and bring you a recap of what happened yesterday with Darietta Brown, the Board of Commissioners and National Elections Commission. My name is O'Neill Roberts. I'm in the midst of all country first. Let's bring this one.
Chairperson and members of the Board of Commissioners, our local and international partners, local and international observer groups here present, Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the Fourth Estate, we'd like to welcome you once again to this daily press briefing from the runoff presidential election 2023 in Liberia. The chairperson of the National Elections Commission is Madam Deviata Brown Lansanan. Madam Chairperson, the audience.
Good afternoon, Madam Co-Chair and fellow commissioners. Members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, welcome you to the headquarters of the National Elections Commission and to the Commission's daily press briefing. The focus of today's briefing is to begin the announcement of progressive results from the 14 November 2023 presidential runoff election. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, having successfully conducted the presidential runoff election, the Commission informs you about on-the-spot vote counting, which was completed immediately following the polls of 14 November 2023. Retrieval of electoral materials used during the polls also began immediately following the counting of votes and is continuing. The Commission reports that during the vote counting and the retrieval of electoral materials, there were isolated cases of disturbances at some of the precincts, especially in Montserrado County. For example, at Sister Kathleen Maguire Catholic School Precinct in Electoral District number 6, some citizens damaged one of the rented vehicles on grounds that it was not NEC vehicle and should not have taken electoral materials to voting centers. Similarly, in Electoral District number 12, at the Chicken Soup Factory AGM School, another hired vehicle was prevented from retrieving electoral materials for the same reason. Also in Electoral District number 2, at the MVTC precinct, an electoral supervisor was attacked and wounded. Thankfully, the LNP took the necessary actions to quell those incidents. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, the tally process was officially launched on 15 November 2023 at the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Ministerial Complex for Montserrado County and the 17 magisterial areas outside of Montserrado. Party agents, as well as independent, local, regional, and international observers, were at the official tally launched today. The Commission notes that the official tallied results from the magisterial offices are already being progressively transmitted to the NEC Data Center at the headquarters for collation. The following are the tally results of the presidential runoff election from the magisterial offices across the country to date. I will now read the consolidated national presidential progressive tally reports, to be followed by those reports from the counties. Of a total of 1,315 polling places, of a total of 5,890 polling places, constituting 22.33%. Boyka Joseph N., UP, votes obtained 193,041, constituting 50.71%. Wia George Mane, CDC, votes obtained 187,615, constituting 49.29%. Total valid votes 380,656, constituting 100%. Total invalid votes, 5,420. Total votes, 386,076. Those were the results from the National Presidential Progressive Tally Report Consolidated. I will now invite Commissioner Floyd Sayer to begin to read results from the counties.
Presidential Report, Consolidated Progressive. Bapolu County. 42 polling places of the total of 134 polling places, constituting 31.34%. Worker Joseph N. UP, votes obtained 5,610, constituting 55.45%. We are George Manning, CDC, votes obtained 4,507, constituting 44.55%. Total valid votes 10,117, constituting 100%. Total invalid votes 224. Total votes 10,341. Masurado County. 557 polling places out of 2,008 polling places, constituting 27.74%. Worker Joseph N. UP, votes obtained 96,789, constituting 53%. We are George Manning, CDC, votes obtained 85,821, constituting 47%. Total valid votes 182,610, constituting 100%. Total invalid votes 1,914. Total votes 184,524. Lofa County. 68 polling places out of 424 polling places reporting, constituting 16.04%. Worker Joseph N. UP, votes obtained 12,835, constituting 67.56%. We are George Manning, CDC, votes obtained 6,162, constituting 32.44%. Total valid votes 18,997, constituting 100%. Total invalid votes 342. Total votes 19,339. Order in chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Sayer. I now invite Commissioner Basilio Kwangba to continue the reading from the counties.
Progressive Tally Report, Consolidated President and Vice President County, Maryland County. 43 polling places of the total of 175 polling places, 24.57%. Worker Joseph N. UP, vote obtained 2,630, 2,630, constituting 21.73%. We are George Manning, CDC, vote obtained 9,475, 9,475, 78.27%. Valid vote cast 12,105, 12,105, constituting 100%. Invalid vote 245,245. Total votes 12350, 12,350. River G County, 29 polling places of the total of 98 polling places, 29.59%. Worker Joseph NUP, vote obtained 2094, 26.62%. We are George Manon CDC, vote obtained 5772, 5772, 73.38%. Valid vote 7866, 7866, constituting 100%. Invalid vote 136, 136. Total votes 8002, 8002. Grand Judah County, 65 polling places of the total of 163 polling places, 39.88%. Worker Joseph NUP, vote obtained 1920, 1920, 10.91%. We are George Manon CDC, vote obtained 156,681, 15,681, 89.09%. Valid votes 17601, 17,601, 100%. Invalid vote is 329,329. Total vote 17930, 17,930.
Thank you, Commissioner. I now invite Commissioner Awa to continue with the reading of presidential results from the counties.
Good afternoon. Progressive tallied report consolidated for the President and Vice President, Wednesday, November 15, 2023. I will begin with Warren County. Of the total of 102 polling places, of the total of 555 polling places, constituting 18.38%. Candidates: Worker Joseph N. UP. Votes obtained 12,204, constituting the valid votes of 45.90%. We are George Money, CDC. Votes obtained 14,383, constituting the valid votes of 54.10%. Total valid votes 26,587. Total invalid votes 516. Total votes 27,103. We proceed to Nema County. Of the total of 127 polling places, constituting the total of 736 polling places, which constitute 17.26%. Candidates: Worker Joseph N. UP. Votes obtained 25,360, constituting a valid votes of 74.82%. We are George Manning, CDC. Votes obtained 8,536, constituting a valid votes of 25.18%. Total valid votes 33,896. Total invalid votes 576. Total votes 34,472. Madam Chair, I do the submit.
Thank you, Commissioner Awa. I now invite Commissioner Gay to continue with the reading of presidential results from the counties.
Progressive tally report consolidated. President and Vice President. County Grand Bassa. 14 polling places of total 405 polling places. Percent 53.70. Candidates: Waka Joseph N. UP. Votes obtained 784% of valid votes, 40.08. We are George Manning, CDC. Votes obtained 1,172%. Of valid votes, 59.92. Total valid votes, 1,956%. Of valid votes, 100%. Total invalid votes, 79. Total votes, 2,035. We proceed to Mangibi County. 82 polling places of total 441 polling places, percent 18.59. Candidates: Wakai Joseph N. UP. Votes obtained 13,600%. Of valid votes, 57.39. We are George Manning, CDC. Votes obtained 10,099%. Of valid votes, 42.61. Total valid votes, 23,699%. Of valid votes, 100. Total invalid votes, 354. Total valid votes, 24,053. Madam Chair, that ends the reading of Grand Bassa and Mangibi County.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Gay. I now invite the co-chair, P. Tipla Reeves, to continue to read the results of the presidency from the counties.
Progressive tally report, consolidated, president and vice president. County, Bomi. 50 polling places of the total of 171 polling places, constituting 29.24%. Candidates: Waika Joseph N. UP. Vote obtained 8,071%. Of valid vote, 62.91%. We are George Manning, CDC. Vote obtained 4,759%. Of valid vote, 3709. Total valid vote, 12,830. Total invalid votes, 127. Total votes, 12,957, constituting 100%. County, Cape Mount. 41 polling places of the total of 213 polling places, constituting 19.25%. Candidates: Boyka Joseph N. UP. Vote obtained 6,447, constituting 56.58%. We are George Manning, CDC. Vote obtained 4,948, constituting 43.42%. Total valid vote 11,395, constituting 100%. Total invalid vote 163. Total vote 11,558. Madam Chair.
Thank you, co-chair. I now invite Commissioner Boyka Dugley to continue to read the presidential results from the counties.
Progressive tally report. I apologize for my voice. I think I suffer from laryngitis. Progressive tally report, consolidated. Riverside County. 41 polling places out of a total of 105, constituting 39.05%. Boakai Joseph N. UP. Votes obtained 755, constituting 30.26%. We are George Money, CDC. Votes obtained 6,349, constituting 69.74%. Total valid votes 9,104, constituting 100%. Total invalid votes 199. Total votes 9,303. That was for River Access. Now we go to Sino County. 53 polling places out of a total of 152, constituting 34.87%. Boakai, Joseph N. UP, 1,942, constituting 16.33%. We are George Money, CDC. Votes obtained 9,951, constituting 83.67%. Total valid votes 11,893, constituting 100%. Total invalid votes 216. Total votes 12,109. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Duque. Thank you to the commissioners. So, we have not heard of the meeting from Grand Crew County, and that's because the tally process began at 2:30 today. So, starting tomorrow, we will read you the results from Grand Crew County. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson and members of the Board of Commissioners. So what we will do, we just have a queue here and you just walk up and ask your question, please.
Thank you, Madam Commissioner. My name is Aish Njiba and I report for KMTV. Well, I'm concerned about the Montserrat County Tallying Center. As you may be aware, that facility is a combination of the Ministry of Labor and the Ministry of Transport. The Ministry of Labor and Gender. So looking at the level of security for the facility, since in fact you were at the SKD and that area was later invaded by some folks that you did mention during the October 10th. So how now is the process with the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Ministerial Complex hosting other ministry and you there with your talents and then two, there is this.
Complete.
Okay. There is this issue that we actually observe on today. Unlike yesterday, two schools I visited, the four meeting Christian Academy on the Oro, Smart Road specifically, and the King Grace School. They both are in fence. And then when we went there today to observe the results that were placed on the wall, we noticed that the fence were actually locked. So I don't know what's the arrangement between the National Elections Commission and those who owns the facility to allow people to actually review what was actually placed on the wall.
Let me answer your question by saying that these facilities are not owned by the Elections Commission. Some of them are private as well as some of them are government structures. And we, the National Elections Commission, abides by some of their regulations. We were allowed to use the premises on elections day. which was the 14th of November. Today is the 15th. The owners of those properties have, gone back to using them the way that they have been. We have no control over this. The issue about moving from the SKD to the EJS ministerial complex, we do not own any of these facilities. These are public structures. We make arrangements with the management team to use them, and we pay to use them. For the SKD, you have international matches. We have to move out of there. So we made the arrangement with the ministerial complex management to use one of their halls to host the Montserrado County tallying process. The security is intact at that location. And if anybody thinks that they can bulldoze and just go in there, it's going to be difficult for you. I was there today, and I saw the formation there. At the same time, no staff is working, other than perhaps those who cleaning. We are in there for about 3 days maximum. After that, staff will resume work. We have to give up something. Is that the opportunity cost they call it? In order to get something. And what we're getting is the tallying process for Montserrado County so that we get those results and we read them to you. Next question.
Thank you, Madam Commissioner. My name is Anthony Williams. I work for State Radio. Prior to these elections, there were several declarations and commitments that these political parties signed up to, and helping to prevent them from venturing into acts that could serve as recipe of chaos. We all have seen just yesterday after the elections, there were partisans of the ruling establishment in the streets jubilating, claiming victory. Just today, we witnessed something of such with a key political figure from the opposition bloc leading Liberians in the streets and claiming victory. I want to know the commission stance on actions like this.
Firstly, let me say that if you are alluding to the signing of the Farmington River Declaration, this declaration is by commitment. In other words, political parties working with the NEC and the different communities decided that it was appropriate to get their signatures to commit to a peaceful environment. We have seen some violations here and there across the country. We have condemned violence across the country. We have condemned the acts committed by some persons who probably may be partisans or are sympathetic towards these different parties that signed the Farmington River Declaration. Commitment. Now, if this commitment is breached, I'm sorry, we are doing the best we can. And it's not just us, it's the Liberian people who are trying their best to hold the political parties to continue to stand up against any form of violence or agitation that tend to put us backwards, in terms of where we are coming from a destabilized country for so many years. Everyone is looking for peace. And we all must do something to maintain that peace, including you, the media, especially in your reporting. When people get in the streets because they think they have won, many things happen. We don't have control over people getting in the street and causing things to happen that should not be. The best we can do and have done is to tell them that they should wait for the Elections Commission to announce the final results. You cannot just jump in the street and start saying to everybody that you have won. We just read few of the results. Did they show that anyone here has won anything? I'm asking you. Okay. So why should anyone be running in the streets? So all of us need to hold them accountable, especially if they're running in the street, end up to violating other people's space, then of course they should be held liable for their actions.
So, Madam Commissioner and your Board of Commissioners, my name is Louis Massacre, and I do report for Big FM and Liberia Public Radio. Man, issue have to do with maybe probably the same issue my colleague will raise up, and will be coming from different dimension. Why is the commission doing in terms of security measures to protect the votes of Liberians? In consideration, taking into consideration a lot of political institutions are, declaring themselves of winning the elections. He just mentioned that, and you listen to the first. You saw the issue of the CDC and the UP today. Thank you.
I don't know how they link I don't know how to link what you've said, security, protection of the votes, and people running in the streets claiming that they have won. The votes have already been protected. We have conducted a process of integrity and credibility. We are at the point now of tallying, collation, and announcement of these very results. So, my friend, I find it difficult. I don't know how to answer that question. To link people running the streets and the security of the votes, because the votes have already been secured. And let me say this, and I don't mean any harm. When you ask your question, I want to see your face. I'm sorry. I want to speak to you. When you ask your question and you go behind the scene and doing something else, it throws me off. I'm sorry. Forgive me, but I just have to say it. So maybe we need some ground rules. When you ask your question, stay to the point and let me address it, and let us address it as much as possible. We agree on this, right? Next question, please.
Thank you, Madam Commissioner. I'm Nelson Collet, and I report for the Spoon Network. I have two concerns. The first one has to do with an observation we had yesterday, visiting some of the centers. Majority of the pool washers or observers we spoke with, they raised this issue of the FRR that was given to them not being used at a particular point. According to them, from the morning hours up to about 2 p.m., there was a text message that circulated mandating that they should not use that FRR again. So they were basically.
Sorry, let me stop you there. Sorry.
Mhm.
When you say they, you're not talking about anybody else. You should please tell us who.
Okay. So initially, I started by saying the observers, political parties observers, they were the ones who raised that concern. And at some polling centers, it sparked tension. After some time, the tension was calmed. Is there any reason, legitimate reason why that message circulated? Because we understand that it came from the National Elections Commission. That's my first concern.
Let me answer you, please.
Okay.
Firstly, the National Elections Commission is by law to provide a copy of the FRR to political parties so they can see the numbers of registered Liberians who will be going to the polls. And correct me, there is nowhere in our law it says that political parties will print the FRR and they will take it to the polling place and use the FRR to identify voters before they are identified by the legitimate staff that are supposed to be running that process. Go ahead.
Just a follow-up to that. In the spirit of transparency and the credibility of the entire process, don't you think it was prudent enough to have those people also verifying just as there was another copy before the networkers?
That is not in the law. I'm sorry.
Okay, so my
It is
second
not,
concern.
no, let me say it some more. It is not in the law for political parties to conduct the process, the voting process of the National Elections Commission. This is why the government, through budgetary appropriation, provided funding to pay electoral workers. And I would say those parties and the agents have crossed the line. They have crossed the line. We have done everything we can to be transparent in the process, but they are not going to usurp the functions of the National Elections Commission. Those functions are mandated by law for the Elections Commission to do that. Not, and hold on, please, I need to say this. I personally observe party agents taking possession of voters' card and checking it in the FRR and marking things on pieces of paper. Now, is that their job? Is that the work they are supposed to be doing? Taking voters' card from them? I'm asking you, my friend, is that the job of party agents?
Okay, so if I'm to respond to that, if those party agents are not given the opportunity, if they don't have the opportunity to compare what they have with that of what the National Elections Commission workers have, then what then was the essence?
Is in the polling place the place that you're going to do comparison when it's not your job, my friend? It's not your job. In the polling place, there is no comparison. Please, please. In the polling place, there is no comparison being done by people who are unauthorized people between them and the authorized people. When you come with your voter's card, the law says, and the procedures say, hello, and the procedures say that you go to the next staff, you produce your card, you look at your data on your card, you go into the FRR and find you. When you are found, they give you the ballot, you go behind it. There is nowhere in the law that says party agents should do that kind of job. No. And this will not happen. This will not happen. And I'm stressing it because we receive information that some persons, including some media people, were promoting that why was the NEC stopping the party agents from using the copies that they had of the FRR from being verified and the voters not being verified by party agents. Excuse me, is that your job? That is not their job. The job of the Elections Commission will be done by the Elections Commission. This will be corrected.
Okay, so let me move to our final concern. But before going, if that's not the job of the party agent and they were doing it, did the verification take anything from the National Elections Commission? Did they undermine the process?
They took things from the National Elections Commission. You know why? Because it destabilized the process in there. You, a party agent, you come and tell a voter, come give me your card and let me check you on my FRR. Then you marking things. You know what that does? You are putting that voter at risk. Gone are the days where we stand up and you are being counted by your head. You stand behind somebody that were voting those days, hundreds of years ago. Because of the secrecy of the ballot and the protection of the voter, the crafters of this process decided that you go behind a screen, you're not going to tell anybody who you are voting for.
Thank you, Madam Commissioner. Let me move to my next concern. I must say that my answer was not convincing enough, but let me move to my next concern. There was a text message that circulated from the National Elections Commission. There was a message that circulated, and I just want to read it shortly. It says, the same results that you saw at the polling places is the same result that will be tallied and announced by the neck. Considering that radio stations,
Did you say it's the neck that issued that?
it has
Okay, now I have to
neck.
check it. I'm asking.
Okay.
I need to respond to something that I know about.
Okay. So, considering that radio stations are visiting the different polling places and using these same results to announce unofficial results, can you assure the public, is there any reason for the public to equally trust what's coming from those radio stations, given that they're using the very tally results that you're talking about in this text message?
The National Elections Commission assures the Liberian public, all the observers and stakeholders, that when we sit up here and we announce results, they are official. And that's the assurance we give.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Gamin Lomo. I work for the News Publishers Media Group. And I have these two concerns here. One had to do with the issue of this invalid votes. It still appear again. Was there any civic and voter education done during this run-up process? If yes, how many days? If no, why? And I have the other concern from LOFA. Was there any internal investigation done about that headquarter issue that were being alleged of carrying marked voter paper in a ballot box? Was there any investigation? If yes, what were your findings into that investigation? Thank you.
I will begin by answering your last. Sorry. You know, I'm sorry. I'm from the old school. No, I will talk because you want me to talk. I'm from the old school. My father told me, peace be to his ashes, that when someone is addressing you, you make eye contact with that person. I don't know it any other way. So when I'm talking to somebody or somebody's talking to me, I'm not going to be giving them my back or my side. I want to look in that person's face and in their eyes. Besides, besides, it is, and I don't mean to be, any other way. It's respectful when someone talks to you and you are talking to them by your whole body language. I'm looking straight at you. So don't feel bad, yeah, ma. Yes, I know in time some of us will pick it up. You talk about whether there was an internal investigation of helicopter appearing in Lufa, and then what happened? They had neck what? You saw it yourself, or it's alleged. So it's an allegation. It's an allegation. But let me say to you that the National Elections Commission has never used helicopter to convey its electoral materials on the 10th October and the 14th October. November. We've been using hired boats by way of the ocean and hired vehicles, including trucks, to carry our material to different locations where our magistrates' offices are. So that other one there, than our own. The issue about invalid votes, and you question whether, in fact, whether CVE was done. We explained yesterday that, and even previously, we conducted CVE all throughout the 73 districts of the Republic of Liberia. CVE on all of these different rights issues and awareness raising about the process. You want to know how many days? For about 3 months or so. But let me tell you, my dear, civic and voter education, and I will continue to say it, is not something that you just get up and do. But when we do, we pay for it. And so the money that we have is the money that we use to pay for CVE. So if CVE was done for just 3 months or even less than that, that it won't be able based on the allotment that it gave us. So perhaps next time when we ask for millions of dollars, the press, including yourself, will advocate for the Elections Commission to have enough funding to be able to carry on these things. Secondly, we need to integrate electoral matters into the curriculum in school, including that CVE and awareness raising. We need to do that. Perhaps the press can start helping now to advocate for it so that it gets integrated in the curriculum. This is a sustainable way to help Liberians to be aware of the electoral process. Invalid votes is a thing that you and myself and all of us here we need to address. You know why? Because we continuously are explaining some of the issues based on past survey that was done, where first thing you have the issue of literacy, illiteracy, if you want to put it that way, and even attitudes. Even if you teach somebody or you show them, sometimes the attitude that they take to the ballot box is not comparable to that of what you have taught them, even through the CVE. So we need to work on ourselves too. Eh? We need to work on ourselves too, right? Okay. Next question.
Oh, thank you, Madam Commissioner. My name is Archie Bourne, and I report for Today Liberia Television. I have like 4 concerns about.
How many?
Okay. My first concern has to do with.
Hold on. Some of your friends want to talk. So just talk 2. Then, if you think somebody else need to talk, get in the other 2.
Yes, these are all important things, so I just want to reflect it out.
Everything
Anyway.
here is important,
Okay.
including you.
Thank you. My first concern has to do with how long will the NEC take to conclude all of the tallying results, as we have only 2 candidates in this election. The second one has to do with yesterday there was some journalist that was manhandled by the Liberia National Security due to their reporting duties. Have the National Elections Commission getting any concern about this issue?
Okay, let me answer you. You ask your 2 questions. Give the other 2 to somebody else.
The last one, just the last one.
That means that will be 3 now.
Yeah,
no, only 2. I'm the presiding officer. You talk about journalists being malhandled. We do not have that information. But what I can say to you, it would be important if you know who handle the journalists to work with them. I would not say John Brown did or this institution did because I don't have it before me. We don't have this information before us. What I do know is that the police or the joint security has been working tirelessly to secure or to ensure law and order. Order, that the first one. And then 2, it is a good thing to identify yourself and listen to those who are managing the process as to what you can do and what you cannot or should not do. And sometimes this is where we fall short. Sometimes there are rules and regulations, and when we come, we decide it must be done our way. And I'm not suggesting that this is what happened. I'm just trying to explain to you, media people, you take responsibility for some things and work with those who you think might handle your friends to get them to the table, you'll talk about it and find some resolution, yeah? You say, how long is it going to take for us to announce the final results? We say again, the National Elections Commission by law has 15 days. Whether you have senatorial representative and a presidential, or whether you just have only 2 contestants in the just ended 14 November presidential runoff. We have 15 days. But I'm saying to you, we are working around the clock to make sure that 1, not only do we remain within the 15 days, but as much as possible to reduce the time for the final result. So in the next few days, this time we've gone 22.33%. You can never tell tomorrow, perhaps we might reach 50%. So let's do it that way, yeah? Next question, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Gerald, Coordinating Director for Front Page Africa. On the record of the count, unlike past elections, the name of the counties were not mentioned, only Liberia. Why is it in the runoff? And secondly, in most places, especially the Pinsville belt, after the votes were being tallied and ballot boxes sealed, the NEC didn't pick up these boxes. It was very late, causing some of these observers and poll watchers to sleep, and also leading to some of your temporary staff and the observers to leave, leaving the boxes alone with the POs. How safe are these boxes with the PO or three or not, given that during the first round, some of your workers were accused of electoral malpractice for which they are facing prosecution now?
So let me ask you, the POs that you talk about sleeping with the ballot boxes, were they accused of anything? Or did you see any malpractice? When you say that, then you're probably saying to me and the rest of us that those ballot boxes were insecure and it's possible that something happened there. I would say no. They were secured. And the issue here is that logistics were deployed to retrieve the materials. If it didn't get there in time, it's unfortunate, but we do everything we can to make sure that our electoral materials reach the magistrate's office and onto the headquarters here. The most important thing in all of that is the tamper evident envelope, which has been, which left. As soon as the counting finished, the tamper evident envelope that contains the original copy of the record of the count on its way. So if the T's were there that you probably saw, then maybe you really have concern, and I will really be concerned. But once that T is sealed with the original copy of the record of the count, it's gone. It's not left there for somebody to play with.
So the first one that has to do with on the record of the counts, the name of the counties when it mentioned. The counts then bear the names of the counties. Why?
I do not have it in front of me. Any of my colleagues can speak to that. Please go ahead.
Usually for the presidency is the entire country. So it's difficult to have counties on the record of account. For the representative, it's easier because it's by district. So you can easily identify it. So a holistic, it's difficult to say what your estimates are per county as per the number of record account that should be assigned. So that's the reason why you have to write it in the box. And if you look at the first round for the presidency, you also see the same thing. So it's not changed. It's the same. In all other elections, it's still the same. It has not changed.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. We'll take the last 3 questions and we'll call it a day.
So what we will do, just ask one
Questions
each
that are different
people
from the
can
ones
do.
then that
Please.
you're being asked.
Just ask one question and the next 2 can ask.
My name is Moses Gazu from the BBC. I wanted to make a follow-up before I can ask my question. Yeah, it's a follow-up.
Your follow-up would be the question that you ask.
It has to do with the very FRR. So I want to know, Madam Commissioner, maybe some of your Board of Commissioners can be able to respond to them if the need arises. I'm building on to yesterday's question I asked. What are the intent for the political parties to have the FRR? And what are the responsibilities of the poll watchers from these political parties and observers? Maybe you could reiterate their roles and responsibilities, because you said there is nothing that is law that gave them the right to conduct the affairs of the elections like it's done. And my final question I
You
wanted
sure
to
you
ask,
want to go there? That way you put a question that last time. You sure you want to go there?
probably
All right,
because,
go ahead.
yeah,
Complete.
the question that has to ask is, prior to you conducting the elections yesterday, the night before the elections day, there were tensions about deployment. I know in District 8, there were tensions that a private vehicle was conveying elections materials that your political affairs officer had to go to rescue because citizens went haywire. Did you make informed uh, publication to the public that the NEC does not have its own vehicles? In fact, we are using rented vehicles to convey and collect voting materials.
Okay. I think the first two questions, if you picked it up, you probably want to answer. Um, your last question. That's a. I don't know how to answer it.
Maybe yes.
Yeah, probably. Maybe I need to say yes, but you know, the NEC cannot procure 300 vehicles to use on elections day, and then after elections day, the 300 vehicles remain in the commission. Maybe some of them. It would be a waste of money. I'm sorry to say. The commission, from time immemorial, hires vehicles, puts stickers on them. We put staff in there for deployment and retrieval. I was shocked to know that persons who were above 18 and probably had voted in a previous election claim not to know that the Elections Commission hires vehicles from vendors to convey our materials to the various polling places. The good thing was our staff was there to help to enlighten some of those who raised the contention and issue citizens arrest of the vehicle. The police was on time, and after some time of agitation, it was solved. So I don't remember your other question. The FRR, the lawsuit will give the FRR, which we put on pen drives to the. Okay, yes, you explain it. If there's no law, then there's something there in the practice. There's something there that tells us to provide that information.
Based on the fact that the issue of the FFR came about again in 2017, and it was an issue that was raised by political parties, and it went before Chamber of Justice, the full bench of the Supreme Court. So in the spirit of due diligence to ensure that people are acquainted with that which has been cleared, where deduplication takes place, where you ensure that it is free of any kind of irregularity, you gave it to the parties. So at that time, it is given prior to